I am back for our next show of our next what do you call it? Yeah, our next show called Dare to Share Live. Welcome to everybody. I am very happy to be here. Today is Wednesday, November 4th. It is noon. We do this show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central Standard Time in the United States. If you are out there, you want to participate in Dare to Share, I'm going to tell you what that is in just one moment. You were going to have to adjust your time and to figure out what time that is wherever you are in the world. I'm going to go and share this video, if I can find it, out to my network, onto our network. Here we go. Share to a group. There we go, right there. I'm at the I'm back in Facebook, and I'm on our page, which is where I broadcast from, so I can broadcast out. I am live now. Get in the queue. Get in the queue. Okay. All right, here we go to the Self-Achievement Network. Where are you? Just hang in there with me for a moment. Man, why is this such a... There we go. Share. Bingo. We're going to share out to the Self-Achievement Network. Okay, we'll share out to the Health and Fitness group. Let's also share today to the Art Therapy group, to the Books group, to our Leadership group, to our Parenting group, to our Talent Development group, our Enlighten Up group, our Marketing group, and to the Zone. Okay, we are set there. Excellent. And if you are looking at this video right now, you should see a link. What is the link? Well, the link is the one that is in this thread, and it looks exactly like this. Okay, it's app.blive.tv 542 guest. What is that all about? If you don't know, if you're here for the first time, this show, Dare to Share, is an opportunity for you as a member of the Self-Achievement Network to come in live into this live stream. Sit next to me. I'm not quite sure which side it is. Usually it's over here. You can introduce yourself to the group. We are pushing 3,000 members in our main group, okay? And we have several sub-hubs, if you will, smaller groups where people are beginning to gather in very genre-specific groups to grow their passion. So the Self-Achievement Network, if you don't know what we're about, very simply, we are an opportunity for people to either discover, share, or evolve their passion. So I have another show that is called Person Behind the Passion. And that person behind the passion has the opportunity, they can get nominated to share about their passion, talk about who they are in a very relaxed type of an interview, if you will. It's just a talk, and then you get to introduce yourself to the group in that way. There's another show, this one called Dare to Share. My phone, I have it on vibrate. It just vibrated off my desk over here. Excuse me for a moment. So yeah, this show, Dare to Share, gives you the opportunity. You don't have to be nominated. You can just take the risk, okay? And just go live with me and introduce yourself to the group, but you got to be willing to jump out of your comfort zone. Okay, so I'm going to set the clock as I usually do. And if you are out there and you have a topic that you would like for me to discuss, I'll set it today for 20 minutes. 0020. Okay, and start. So if you are wanting to go live, you got to jump and you got to do it now. You've only got 20 minutes, okay, before we end. So Dare to Share is about you sharing your passion and yourself with the rest of the group so people can get to know who you are, all right? My passion is called Life Plan. For many years, I was traveling around doing workshops and seminars in many different countries, also here in the United States. And I had a back injury and I was not able to walk or stand for a long time. I actually still have problems in my right leg. But now I'm better. But during that time where I was unable to be mobile, I had these frightening thoughts that I was never going to be able to do what I love to do, which is to show people how to transform their life. Okay. So I took all of my course material and I condensed it into an online, downloadable, self-paced PDF, fillable PDF course. It's called Life Plan. And we have another subgroup off to the side. And that subgroup gives people the opportunity to ask questions of not only myself, but other guides and life coaches that have specific knowledge in a certain area. So you can do that. The Life Plan, you can't just get into the Life Plan group. You have to have downloaded the course and have it and be working on it, right? So anyway, yeah, so we are here today to give people the opportunity. And if you are out there and you want to jump out of your comfort zone, please, 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 please do it. We have some giveaways for the people who participate, and you have a choice of 2 different downloads, okay? One of them is called Life Plan 1.0. It's not the full 22 unit version. It is the, I can't remember how many, 20 pages of the very basic goal setting, you know, it's not a system. It's the basics, right? So you get to look at and sit down. Here's the thing, right? So what most people don't do is they don't ever sit down and actually carve out a plan, right? So they think, oh yeah, I'm going to do it soon, and they get busy with stuff and they begin to do. But then sometime down the road, things kind of crumble and life takes them off track, and it becomes, you know, one of those things where it's tough to get back on track. So when you have a plan, a life plan, whether it's 1.0 or 2.0, you can keep yourself on track. So Life Plan 1.0 is a basic version. It gives you a very quick, streamlined way to get yourself back on the track, right? Because you know how it is. It's so easy to be pulled away by life, right? So anyway, those people that are out there, are you watching? I see that there's somebody out there. Let me just close this box over here. Yeah, so if you are out there and you are watching and you have this little voice inside your head that says, go for it. Give it, just jump. Go ahead and jump. I dare you to jump out of your comfort zone and sit right next to me, and let's have a conversation about you, right? Introduce yourself to the people in this group. So we have now, let's check the time. We are down to 15 minutes and 45 seconds. You better jump in, get in the queue, click that link. If you're not finding that link, tell me, say something. Type something in. I can see the thread, and you can let me know if you see that or not. Okay, so what I normally do is I ask the members of the group to give me a word, like a personal development word, to talk about. Okay, and I don't know if you're out there, if you can think of a word. A couple of weeks ago, I did, or last week, I did. What did I talk about? Going for it. I talked about. Let me just look at my cheat sheet notes over here. Didn't we talk about integrity? We talked about the words more and better, right? Or I talked about them. Here's a good one here, the art of losing. Now that we have this big election happening right now, the art of losing. Now I don't want to talk about that. Oh, the right-wrong game. That definitely applies to the left and right, the blue and the red teams. I want to talk about today about assertiveness. Assertiveness, right? That's a great word. If you don't know what that word means, you've heard of it before, and I know that you have. People oftentimes, they think of, when they think of assertive, they think of aggressive. It is a forward thing, okay? And the first thing I want to say is that, first of all, it's just a word that represents something, behavior. There's aggressive, there is passive, and then there's assertive, okay? And there's all these different things in between that people use to describe behavior. But I want to talk about assertiveness because assertiveness is really important. It is like, if you begin to look at the differences in the way that people communicate, not just with other people, but with themselves, they, generally speaking, right, they lean toward being aggressive or they lean toward being passive. And through the research that I've done, I've noticed that about 85% of our population globally, 85%, give or take a percentage here, right, depending on where you're at, they are passive communicators, which means they don't say what they think. They don't tell people how they really feel. They hold things back. They hide, they avoid confrontation, right? So they're passive. That's most people, okay? And then there are people that are like the aggressive kind, right? And these people are those, they don't hide their feelings. They will tell you exactly how they feel, and they won't say it very kindly. Now I'm talking about people on the extreme, right? I'm not talking about, if you look at like a number line right here, right? From 0 in the center to 10 on the outside, right? So aggressive and passive, right? So I'm talking about these people that are way out here, the extremos, right? And so they will, on the aggressive side, what they will do is they will say things that are very blunt, and a lot of times it's kind of like a dagger or a arrow in your heart, right? They say things that they do it on purpose to keep people at bay, really, was what they're doing. But they want to make sure that people understand that they're in charge, right? That they know what they're talking about. So aggressive is and passive are really opposites of the same thing, okay? But what I want to talk about today is assertive, which is the thing that's right in the middle, okay? Assertiveness. And there's many different aspects of it, and it sounds very simple. And just know that it can be very complex. However, when it's explained in a way that that makes sense, it does make sense. And what I recommend is for people to begin to strive toward, first of all, being curious of what assertiveness is, and then learning about what it is, and then practicing what assertiveness is. So I'm going to go to my favorite dictionary in the whole world. It's the etymology.com, wherever that is in the world. And I'm going to type in the word assertive, ASSERTIVE, assertive or assertiveness. Assertiveness is what I said, right? So let's go to assertiveness. Assertiveness. tendency toward, it's a noun. There's a couple of different versions here. Noun, adjective. Tendency towards self-assertion from 1867. Well, it's been a long time ago, right? And from 1853, self plus assertive. Okay. Not much information there. Let's go back to assertive, right? And see what comes up there. Assertive. From 1560, adjective, declaratory, positive, full of assertion, from assert, meaning insisting on one's rights or authority. In short, for self-assertive. Okay. So maybe we should go to assert. We'll break it down even further. Assert, to assert. Okay. From 1600, declare. It's from 1640. Vindicate, maintain, or defend by words or measures. From Latin assertus. Past participle. To claim, lay claim. To appropriate from. Add. To join together. Put in a row. To line up. Okay. Assert. Assertive. Right? So basically what it means is that when you are an assertive communicator, what you are doing is you are willing to say things, to communicate the way things are and the way things aren't. Okay? It's not like you're trying to hide things or you're not trying to jam things down people's throat. An assertive communicator is someone who tells the truth and says it the way that it is and doesn't have an edge. You know, they don't have an agenda behind it. It's just very simple, and it works really well when you're in a relationship. It works really well when you are in doing business deals. It works very well in all kinds of career applications. It really works, right? Especially with your friends too. So it's not like about being stuffy or always being, like A-brained. No, assertiveness just is, how something happens and something goes off the rails and there's some issue with a relationship or somebody says something and then you start having these weird thoughts and feelings about the other person. Well, assertiveness gives you the opportunity to bring everything back and get it back on the rails. So in a good example. So recently a friend of mine had an issue with their boss. Okay. And their boss had sent an email out and it was copied to, I can't remember what she told me, 12 or 13 people. And so then she was looking for feedback on a certain aspect of what their team was working on, right? And so her boss sent this email out to all these people and said, please give feedback to the team for this project that we're working on, blah, 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 blah. So my friend sends back her feedback and copies all, okay? Now, according to the way that the email was written, it looked to my friend that she was supposed to copy all, to give feedback to the team, right? So she received an email back from her boss, and the boss said, don't do that. I wanted you to send your feedback back to me. Well, she didn't really say that in the email, but she was kind of aggressive back with my friend to say that you really didn't follow my instructions, even though I didn't give you clear instructions, right? So the point is that my friend reached out to me and said, what do you think I should do? And I said, well, if I was you, I would be assertive, right? We've talked about assertive communication before. Go back to your boss and say, hey, listen, I would like to bring up a discussion about the last couple of emails that we had, and then tell her the truth. Say it the way that it is for you. And when you do that, it brings up confusion, and I'm not certain, and I do not want to piss you off. So when you give instructions from now on, would you please be clear with me so that I can follow your instructions the way that you would like them to be followed? And I gave her some coaching on that, and so she hasn't reached back out to me, and I'm sure that she will. So I'm just noticing at the bottom of my screen that I've got this thing, a passion for entrepreneurship. That was my guest from the other day. So I'll close that out. And so anyway, there are just under 5 minutes left. If you are out there and you want to come live with me and introduce yourself to our in total about 4,000 members. We're 3,000 in our main group. We've got 850 on our page, on our business page, and there are several hundred in our smaller groups that are beginning to grow. So you've got a few more minutes left. I'll give you that opportunity. Just click on that link. You will be brought up into the queue, and I will bring you up into the screen so everybody can see and hear you. So we're talking about assertiveness and why that's so important to learn, because if you recognize in yourself, right, it's all about self-observation. You begin to notice and observe yourself and the way that you communicate. You see, I really hold a lot of things back, or I'm kind of like sick of people and I want to just say it, in a way that people can actually hear me. Well, those are two different extremes, right, of communication. But when you communicate assertively, right, you can make so much more progress without creating problems. I would love to do a little workshop where I can bring up on the screen my PowerPoint, if you will, and show you the different aspects of passive communicators and aggressive communicators, and contrast that with assertive communicators and where they all come from, right? Because it's really, really, really important. So, okay, Angela is saying, hey, hello, how are you, dear? Great to see you. Let's see, what time is it there? 7:20? Or is it 8? No, it's 7:20 there. We had a time difference. We had one here too over the weekend. So it might be 7:20. I'm not really sure. But anyway, thank you for joining me. This is our Dare to Share Live, inviting people to sit next to me in the network and introduce yourself to our members so that they can get to know who you are and what you're all about and what your passion is and what your service is and all that. Yeah, aggressive, assertive communication. Right. Yeah, I mean, talking about that particular topic is really fun, number one, but doing it and learning it is even fun, because once you learn what assertive communication really is, you'll never go back. You'll be like, I used to do that all the time, and now I learned a better way, and it'll be fun, I promise you. So I'm going to set that up. We've got another workshop coming next Thursday. I changed it from Friday to Thursday. I'm going to do a little shortened version of my Best You workshop, and it is a practical workshop. It is not theory. I mean, I got to talk about it, so there's a little bit of theory there, right, and a little bit of concept, but it's all about doing, right? So people say, "Oh, I'm working to be the best version of me," and they, have their magic wand, and all of a sudden they're like, "I'm great. I'm the best. I'm a badass. I'm a princess." And they haven't done a damn thing, right? So it's very difficult to just, poof and, magic yourself into being your best version of you. It takes work. And it may be that one of the areas that you need to work on is your physical body, your health, or maybe it's a relationship, or it might be, it could be with your job. It could be with, many different things. Let's just look at my cheat sheet up there, back up there in the corner right there. Money, spiritual, family, travel, love, health, right? It could be with one of those. Those are just examples. of the area that you need to work on so that you can feel, right, awesome, right? And you ever done the wheel of life exercise, right? It's a wheel, and then there's all these little hubs. It's kind of how I got that idea right there. I kind of stole it. And you put a dot. It's from the center of 0 all the way out to 10. You put a dot in these different areas around this thing, and you rate yourself where you feel that where you are in terms of like being the worst and being the best, right? So anyway, you put these dots together and it creates this pattern. And you can see, these are the areas where I need to work on first. So it's called the Wheel of Life. So Angela's saying, some people are not ready to take action. That's true. However, I think of it as that everybody is ready to take action. They just don't know it yet. Right? Because who doesn't want to have an amazing life? Right? Everybody does. So anyway, so you take this little model and you begin to focus in on certain specific areas of your life, and it may be that you know that you need to have conversations with your boss, or you may know that you need to have a conversation with your partner, or your spouse, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Anyway, this is a lot, and then you're not feeling up to it. So like your self-esteem, if you will, your whatever you want to call it, it's not quite there. So you're hanging out in the background, and all that does is it delays your life. It slows you down. It's like running with a parachute on your back. You've seen that graphic before, I'm sure. I think about that a lot. It's like, why is it so hard to run? I'm pushing as much as I can. But anyway, so I am going to cut it off right now because our timer went off. Angela says, I am connecting with action takers, amazing and inspirational. And that is awesome because we need to connect with people who are action takers. I spent a lot of time working with a couple of amazing guys, mentors, and some women, amazing. And I was always, everything that we were talking about always boiled down to action and results. And that's what I love about that, is that it's just so simple. You could do a lot of things, spend a lot of time during the day doing a lot of things that don't have anything to do with anything. And when you begin to focus in on the things that are important to you, and you do that with the confidence that you know that you can create by working on yourself, the whole game changes. The game really is about being clear and having clarity in what it is that you want in your life, what you want your life to be about, and then taking the steps, the right steps to create that is really the ultimate challenge. And it's also the ultimate payoff, right? Because when you work in that direction and you begin to become the creator, the deliberate creator of your life, you get to see, oh my gosh, I'm really in the driver's seat. A lot of people, and you know who they are, you've seen them, it could be you too, right? You are in the back seat watching in horror as your vehicle is going all over the place, hitting potholes, and you're like, why is this happening to me? Where all you need to do is learn a few things and become curious. And then you crawl over the seat and get back in the driver's seat of your life and begin to steer and direct to exactly where that you want to go. So I'll shut up. I'll get to my calendar, and I am going to set up that little workshop on assertive communication. And that's it. I've got the other one coming up. What do we have coming up this afternoon? Lucy is coming to be our person behind the passion at 4 p.m. Central today, Lucy. And then tomorrow we got a couple of cool people. A friend of mine, Eddie Rappa, he's from New York. He'll be here. And let me just take a quick look because I can't remember who the other one is. I should be remembering these things, but I can't remember everything, guys. Self-Achievement Network. That's the page. We want the group. And the group is blue. The page is green. So if you're ever doing a search on it, you can very easily see that. Where is our calendar? It's right at the top. It's pinned to the top. And all you have to do is click on that tinyurl.com and it opens up and you can see every little thing that's happening in the network. Oh, tomorrow, yeah, Gulmira. She was with us, oh gosh, was it last week or the week before? Gulmira is from Kazakhstan, and she does this numerology thing. So she asked me my birth date, and she did some, I don't know, magic, and then she told me all these things about myself, and I don't remember what they were right now, but she's going to be doing a little workshop tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, and she's going to be talking about numerology, and it sounds pretty cool. I mean, I don't, I'm a real practical guy, so I'm like, I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm not really sure what that means. But she somehow has figured out a way to piece that together to help people to move forward in their lives. So that's really cool. So Gulmira will be here at 11, and then at 2, Eddie Arapa from New York City. He just moved to Chicago a couple of years ago, so he's still kind of rooted in New York. And then on Friday, our poetra, her name is Anamika Datta. She'll be doing a poetry reading at 10 a.m. on Friday. And then we will do one more Dare to Share It live here in the network. And I'm inviting all of you who have not stepped up, that want to get yourself introduced to the group, please set a timer, okay? Whatever you need to do on your calendar. We'll be back here on Friday at noon. Okay, bye-bye for now. Take care, everybody. Have fun. Remember to stay inspired, and we will talk to you soon. Oh, here we go. How's your hydration going? It's going fabulous, darling. I just filled my water container. It's full. Okay, but now I got the timer going off upstairs and downstairs every other hour. So I take a big chug-a-lug-a-lug, and then that reminds me to stay hydrated. So thank you for asking me about that. I appreciate that. I can tell you a quick little story. I know it's going past the time, 32 minutes. So like when I tell people what I'm doing, right? Like this hydration thing. So I'm drinking, water every few hours to keep myself hydrated during the day. I sit at my desk and I forget. I'm just like, I spent 4 hours since I had to drink water. So I thought, I got to take charge of this thing. So I set this timer. My point is that when I tell people about that and then I don't do it, and then people ask me, like you just did, Angela, it's like I have this pang of guilt that I didn't do it. You know how that is? So now I've like got everything put in place and I'm doing it, and it's awesome. So thank you for asking about that. You say that, yeah, Gulmira Mammadova, she is your choice of amazing people out there in the world. And you say, I love her numerology workshop. Excellent. I loved it. And it's fairly factual. So we'll see how factual it is for you, because she's going to teach you guys some cool things. So, all right, be well. Remember to have fun and stay inspired. We'll talk to you guys real soon.